Found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that that change would have happened long after our game. You know,
Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy, man. Back at y'all with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If y'all haven't already, man, appreciate y'all. Helps out the channel a lot. We gotta talk about Russell Wilson and the peak. What's that nigga name? Sean Payton. We gotta discuss Sean Payton and this Russell Wilson situation, man. So after the New York Giants blew the game late against the Denver Broncos to lose 33 to 32. After the game was over, I guess Sean Payton had a press conference where he basically just took a shot at Russ, like, not without really taking a shot at him. Basically praising Jackson Dart and basically saying that Jackson Dart was the spark that the New York Giants needed. And I guess Russ took offense to that because he was the starting quarterback for the New York Giants to start the season, and then a few games later got benched. So yeah, so here we are. Russell Wilson, Sean Payton. Sean Payton was asked about this, his press conference, and what he really meant. And was he trying to take a shot at Russ? He clearly denied it, but
I did look, and the euphoria, the way that game unfolded, that was strictly about Dart. I mean, and I that was in no way, shape, or form anything that was directed at Russ. So, and I might be able to see how he might perceive that, but coming off that win and watching how he played, yeah, that wasn't any intention at all.
not gonna lie, man. If you're a football fan and you've been following, what's been going on with Russell Wilson after he left Seattle, then you could probably put two and two together and know that he wasn't, just, he was taking a jab at him, but he was just doing it indirect. Russell Wilson's career, in my honest opinion, I think gets overlooked a little bit. Like, I feel like people forget that Russell Wilson is a 10-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champ. And people are actually in the media questioning whether or not Russell Wilson should be in the Hall of Fame or not. Honestly, there's no question that Russell Wilson should be in the Hall of Fame. And you guys can't just take away his Hall of Fame status because former players that he used to play with back in the day don't really like him like that. I just think that when it comes to the Hall of Fame and all that stuff, you just have to go based off of accolades and production. And Russell Wilson has accolades and he has production. Because if you're going to allow a guy like Eli Manning, his garbage ass, his trash ass, to enter the Hall of Fame off of winning two flunk ass Super Bowls, then Russell Wilson definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. And if you want me to be honest, Russell Wilson was a way better player than fucking Eli Manning. Eli Manning is trash as fuck. But y'all gonna let him in the Hall of Fame, though. I think the thing with the Russell Wilson and the Sean Payton thing, man. Sean Payton just for some reason he has this vendetta against Russell Wilson. Maybe it's because of the way that Russell Wilson carried himself when he was in Denver. But honestly speaking, bro, that's more of a culture thing than it is a Russell Wilson thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you're a team, right, and you're paying a quarterback a whole bunch of money to come play for you, right? That's more than enough, man. At that point, the buddy just has to come in and work. Okay, you're allowing this man to have his own private office. You're allowing this man to do this. You're allowing this man to do that. No. That should have never been a thing, first of all, because the only way somebody could feel comfortable doing that is if you're allowing them to do stuff like that. You don't have to allow Russell Wilson to have his own office. But nah, man, back to the task at hand, though, man. Sean Payton, really taking jabs at Russ in the media. Russ obviously fired back at Sean Payton, deservedly so, man, because Russell Wilson, he's always been the nice guy in the league. You know, people think he's corny or whatnot, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't really interact with the guys like that on the team, which as a quarterback, you can't really be that type of person. You have to kind of be accessible to everybody. So I can see how Russell Wilson's standoffish behavior could kind of throw a lot of guys off. But a lot of people just likes to have their own peace and like to keep their circle small. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in this profession, man, you have to be able to connect with other people, especially your teammates. So that could be an issue with Russ because like guys like, you know, Richard Sherman come out the media saying stuff. KJ, what's his name? KJ Wright, Marshawn Lynch saying that he had to, you know, get in order for him to get in touch with Russ, he had to go through his manager or somebody like that. And you can't really have those things as a quarterback, man. You have to establish yourself as being a part of the team. You know what I mean? You can't be standoffish like that. And I think that's something that Russell Wilson probably learned from. You know what I mean? With his stint in Denver. He also went to the Steelers last year, I believe. Played a few games for them, but then they ended up wanting to move on anyways. You know what I mean? So Russell Wilson, ever since he left Seattle, his career hasn't really been very successful lately. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I just think that what happened to Russell Wilson could have happened to any quarterback, really, because ultimately what I'm seeing here is he just signed with the wrong teams. Okay, Nathaniel Hackett, rookie head coach, trash ass head coach. He should have never went over there with Nathaniel Hackett. That's number one. They bring in Sean Payton. Sean Payton did get Russell Wilson to play a little better. You know what I'm saying? But he still just wasn't really a Russell Wilson guy. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to get his own guy. So he went and got Bo Nix and ate that dead money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So, and then you go to the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, after a year, gives up on you. Now you're in New York, and you can't seem to get right in New York. Not that they really gave you much of an opportunity, anyways, because they had put you on a short leash from the get-go. Because you know how in love that Brian Daboll is with Jackson Dart. You know what I mean? So that's the type of thing that can happen. Now, do I think that this is gonna put a stain on his legacy and that he shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame because of it? I don't think so, man. And Sean Payton, you have Bounty Gate on your head. Okay, you're responsible for Bounty Gate. People ain't saying stuff about that. But Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds in football, he's going to the Hall of Fame as well, man. But I just feel like these two should have never even been paired together, man, in the first place, because what's ultimately going to happen here is man, they're probably just going to keep going back and forth, man, at this point, because they really just don't like each other. For some reason, Sean Payton just really doesn't like Russell Wilson. You know, Sean Payton's more of an old school guy, so it's hard for him to kind of hold back how he really feels about Russell Wilson. So that's the reason why you see him in the media taking shots at him, taking jabs at him whenever he gets the chance. Like, even me, it totally crossed my mind that Russell Wilson was even on the team when they played the Denver Broncos. I totally forgot about that story. But as soon as, like, in that Eagles game, man, as soon as Jackson Dart had to go to the tent for a little bit and Russell Wilson had to throw one pass and he dirted the ball, Brian Daboll got so mad and he was looking for Jackson Dart. You know what I'm saying? So they put him on a short leash from the jump. I don't know what Russell Wilson was told when he signed with the New York Giants, because they did sign Jameis Winston as well as the third string quarterback. But I'm assuming that they promised him the starting spot, and they kind of just went back on their promise once they seen that the team wasn't really playing up to speed. You know, but Hey, man, that's what you get for signing with trash organizations like the New York Giants, Russ. So, hey, there you go. But yeah, all in all, man, like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Russell Wilson and Sean Payton beef. I think it's stupid, and I think Sean Payton should move on. You know what I mean? You got the quarterback you wanted. Your team is doing good right now. You know what I mean? Just worry about you and your team. You worrying about Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer regardless of anything that happens moving forward in his career, in my opinion. And if he isn't, then the NFL is just being biased because the man has the accolades and he has the credibility to make it to the Hall of Fame. Because y'all let Eli in, shit. Y'all let Phillip Rivers in, and Phillip Rivers ain't never won no fucking championship. But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, and I'm out. Peace.